Welcome back to Moans and Bones Reactions. I am Othai the Bones, and this is...
Another Moan!
And today, we're going to be reacting to another Internet Historian video. One that I think I've mentioned to you, but I don't believe we've ever looked at yet or anything. What do you know of No Man's Sky, the game?
Well, I did play it a little bit.
Oh, did you? At the beginning when it first came out? Yeah, when it had all the problems.
Midway.
Oh, midway. Okay.
And I had started with a friend. I don't think it was as advanced as it is now. I had started with a friend, and then it took a. I was having fun with gathering stuff, and I eventually kind of got into it when I finally started finding some plot in other planets. It was kind of a slow burn, and then once I wasn't hanging out with that person as much, it
just didn't work out. Yeah,
I played it on the Xbox.
Enough.
Yeah.
I see.
But I had some interest, and when I finally caught a plot.
It's a lot bigger of a game now too than it was. Like, that's for sure. It's like
I know it had issues, but I can't remember all the issues. So.
Well, don't you worry, because you're about to see one of the worst events in gaming possible.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, I'm concerned.
But it still exists, right? So that means something, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, here we're gonna see what Internet Historian has.
What did they do?
Wait, so many things.
Is he blushing?
So many things. Who? Internet Historian?
Hang on. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know. All right. But yeah, we're going to get right into this, guys. It's going to be a long one, so I hope you all buckle in, because, yeah, it's going to be a long one.
By that game everyone loves.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night?
Is math related to science?
Is math related to
science? If the universe is so big, then why won't it fight me?
Yes.
As we look further into the universe,
why won't it fight me?
Distant stars.
That is the best question.
Perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
6 times, oh yeah, now we're talking.
Do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
Pressure rising, holding steady.
Pressure rising.
Unblur.
It won't.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to.
You're a madman.
8.5.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tanks will go critical.
The helium tanks.
Opening the blind.
Why are there bullets?
Hold it steady. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio.
This is really what Michio Kaku did.
There it is.
There it is.
Life on another world.
And
to think, we owe it all to one indie development studio.
Beautiful.
Games.
Hello.
Head dancers.
Hello there. Oh God.
Let's start at the beginning.
The hype.
Yeah. It's rewind time.
Yeah.
Okay. The year is 2009. Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010 AD. The game just came out. It's a success.
They're a small team, but they are ambitious.
Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars. How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012.
Oh, but really easy was on the board.
But that one doesn't perform as well.
We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2. Joe Danger 3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before.
Joe Danger the mobile game?
Yes!
Yes.
And that came out in 2014. Seriously, guys, biggest thing you can think of.
I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you're going to make a space game first person, it's never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope. So that's not a knife. Who are you going to have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body now?
Oh my god!
Planet, said Murray.
What an edit.
Space game. Procedural generation. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
No Man's Sky.
Check it out.
Check it out.
I was so into this hype. I was in it. I was in the hype.
Oh, were you? You were in the hype.
Oh yeah, it was hard.
This is special.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no.
In 2013, it was pretty awesome.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time. No Man's Sky has promised to be a game like no other. A practically boundless experience vibrant with life and color and things to explore. What's over there? You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit. And a moment later, we're in space having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends.
Okay, that's it. This is going to be the best game ever, you guys. It even won awards for its hype. And it will release in June 2016.
Hype.
The hype train was officially loading up, and
Oh, look at
ready
that
to
hype
chug
train
out of the
go.
station.
Chugga-choo.
At every stop of the journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game, spread across
really quick.
18 quintillion planets.
Think of that.
Based on yeah, dang, that's so many. You
Well,
know,
it
they're all
is
just be
procedural,
computer
right?
generated though.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
procedural, but still, like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty well. I was gonna say, based on that timeline, I probably did kind of play it semi-early to maybe a little bit mid. I'm trying to think exactly.
Ah, okay. So you
So I
probably
wonder,
played
so I
it
wonder
at
how they have changed
not
it.
the best
or what
state.
we're
Oh,
like.
they have changed it. They just came out with another update not that long ago. I mean, it's still being changed. And again, all of the updates they've done for it thus far, I'll just wait. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait. You're gonna watch.
Yeah.
It's so vast that by the time you finish exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published. Sean himself was doing the interview.
Damn IH.
Because who is better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself? He went from interview to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations of the game's scope.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids.
You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit.
They're literally building your own like massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Sand planets like in June, rivers, walking sentinels, hacking. So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms, they had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
Oh god.
2
This is the
years go by.
past.
It's early 2016, and that hype train is really moving now.
Oh yeah, look at
Perhaps one
that.
of the
Fucking
biggest in video
Thanos.
Fancy
game
Thanos.
history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast and thrown from the carriage doors. Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well. The date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Uh-oh. Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be defunct Kotaku is about to spoil the party. He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
Oh my god.
Liar, the incensed audience cries.
Liar!
Please be quiet,
Anakin.
they said. And death threats, too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced.
Suck it.
Ooh, sorry, lads. We need more polish, said Sean.
I was
in
on a
his
trip,
usual
so I was
accent.
actually
To
happy
that,
about the
Sean
delay. I was like,
received some
yeah, I
death
won't
threats
miss
too, by
the
way.
launch.
Although he didn't take them
Yay!
as seriously or go to the police. Yet.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
But the impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said, fine, we will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen. Speaking of waiting,
Yeah, that polish.
Shadow Man here. Have you heard
Oh no,
of
not
Raid
Shadow
Shady?
Man.
My wife died in a plane crash. Hey, let's
What?
get serious for a moment. Raid isn't just a game with 15 million
He said his
downloads
wife
in the
died in a
last
plane
6 months.
crash.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
This is clearly already a problem, though, of
Play Raid differently.
overselling because they probably want
Achieve
interest in the
your
game and they're a small studio
dreams.
versus like impatient
Sorry, sir.
people with
You've
way too high
contracted.
goals.
Raids. That's good.
Oh, you mean for no
Well,
man?
that-
For a second you're talking about Raid Shadow
Yeah.
Legends. Oh yeah. Oh God, is right. What? Why?
Congratulations.
Oh.
It's Grub of the Undead Horde.
My life for Nezu.
You just collected
Yeah,
one
my
of
life for
400
Nezu.
champions. Why, hello there. Have you heard about the online RPG PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play
Just
Store.
chasing the holy.
Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid
my
is
God.
more than just a
What?
game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad.
Oh my
It's
God.
a warm bowl of soup on
Well, his
a
wife
cold
did
night.
die, so I guess they had that in
One
common.
last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids. Yay! And if you download now, kids, using the link in the description below, you can get an extra 50k silver and an epic champion. Wow, you're the best dad ever. Wait, Mum's dead?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Ad over. So let's talk about the
God
team in charge
damn.
of all that polishing. It's
This
small,
ads. It's small.
tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA
Look at that shit.
Yeah.
release. All of these
They
expectations
small team.
are on the shoulders of just 6 people, expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production.
All the extra Seans.
July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at what video game production does to a man.
God, what's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they
The
continue
last one.
working on the day 1 patch. And uh-oh. Sean, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's right. It's a leak.
Leak.
Someone broke the
leak?
embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling in.
Oh my God, you were looking at the creature.
It reaches $1,300 US.
Why would you buy that though?
Some guy with the Reddit handle.
Because people are
Damien,
crazy when it comes
he
to
gets his hands on
FOMO.
it and
And
starts
like,
uploading
he's the
footage
first
to
person to
YouTube
play
and Daily
such a
Motion.
hype game.
Said
What the
Sean
fuck?
and Sony.
Sony,
Damien
like, what the
finished it a lot
fuck?
quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day 1 patch. Sean, it's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date.
Oh my God.
Journalists too, and they started streaming playthroughs of the game.
Oh, that's annoying.
Sony tried
Yeah,
to
it's kinda
DMCA
fucked
all
up.
these videos, but their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone. We've officially become No Man's censored by Sony.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a
Yeah,
copyright
even
strike
news
on
stories are getting
They
hit
went
by it.
rolling around from platform to platform, just taking
Just
down
wow.
You're supposed to be doing it, that's why.
trailer footage.
But
Well, no, they weren't doing it. They were reporting about it. They just made an article talking
Oh,
about
that's
how it was
stupid.
happening. Well, yeah, that's why it's a goddamn
I mean,
chain
also,
gun of copyright. Pornhub.
I was gonna say too, once it's already happened, maybe you want to stop it from further happening, but you might as well leave what's up there. I would say in this case, I don't know, it's like a week or so, like a month, right? I don't know.
I love the idea. Well, no, it's their product. They're gonna be pissed, so they're just gonna go at it. I mean,
True.
This is Sony. This is Sony we're talking about.
But it was too late. The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game, especially because there were no early review copies. And it was looking like the weight of all these expectations had become too much. And the whole thing was about to give.
I like how he was still trying to put it
Oh,
on
no.
top as
It's
it was
August.
falling.
Everyone's here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped. Here we go, lads. Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. It is me, the auditor of games.
Not the auditor.
I used to work at an astronomy lab, don't worry about
Monster.
that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nobody would want that.
Ringed planets?
No.
Fine, well, at least let me play as a trader.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them...
No.
Those sand planets from Doom
no.
at night. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No, it's not.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
No.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool! Oh!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
No.
Well, day-night cycles determined by the orbit of the sun.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, and name your shit. Hacking, portals, all that stuff about the elements, Sean.
No.
This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo.
Buried buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunctions, animal husbandry, oil slick whirl, raining grass, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ship's interiors disappear, first person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet. Take off. Really take off. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. A whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out, animals bugging out. Animals breakdancing. Look at these busy hands. Hello there. And a couple of unrequested ejector seats.
Okay,
He
that's
got
all
out
good
of the
stuff.
ship
I
and
get
was just
the picture.
ejected.
No, wait. Poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guaranteed crash. Desktop notifications? That's a crash. Playing the game? That's a crash. Changing options in the game without restarting? You'll get this. And if you got the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship, you might have a problem. Your special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So whoops, until they patch it, you're stranded.
Oh no.
That's why I give my kids No Man's Sky. A fool.
She's off. She's seeing the universe.
Ah, my ship's in bits!
Oh, Jack.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game and just how many people bought it on release, myself included. Over 750,000 purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month. And the large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends, well, you're in for
Oh
a
no,
surprise.
Sean, no, not that look.
This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes, it's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release, Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
Was he
To
Uncle
be so
Bear?
clear, No Man's Sky
He was.
is not a multiplayer game.
Dang.
Please don't go in looking for that experience. Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that. Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero. Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Oh my god.
Yeah!
Right? No, it's more confusing than that. Because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. After hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream.
The kids.
Oh dear.
A black pillow.
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now, if you don't move.
Oh no.
That's the same spot. And they can't see each other.
I'm alone!
That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer. And this led to Player Revolt. What did Sean have to say about all this? So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day. That has blown my mind.
So why can't we see other players in game?
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean, but what?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
Oh,
what's
that's
the
so
game actually
fucking
like?
funny.
Is it any good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, leave the planet, go to another planet, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60, ladies and gentlemen.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
What followed was one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October.
Better than
And what
Concord.
followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history. Reviewers on
Yeah,
YouTube.
this
panned
was
the game.
rough.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You done fucked it up!
I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Has anyone coined Sean Murray new yet?
Numerous times within the
I
first
didn't watch
2
many
hours of the
reviews
game
for this.
saying,
That was on the hype train.
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism was deafening. And a lot of it really funny and creative. Cat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. So people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks.
That's funny, that clip is way later
Many
in the
people
game
made
cycle.
compilations of all the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote.
In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
So by the end of the month, Metacritic was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews. The outrage of the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications, and the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashing through the floor. Please, no more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No, bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to. This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints. We're going to investigate." But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam page. So it's technically not false advertising. But of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience. October 28th, Hello Games Twitter is hacked. The hacker posts, "No Man's Sky was a mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door, even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office.
Calm down, y'all.
So,
Just get a
naturally,
refund.
out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran. This in addition to numerous bomb and death threats during that period.
Bomb and death
Those ones
threats.
Sean did have to take seriously.
Yeah, no shit, you'd have to
Your
take them
intervention from
seriously.
Police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
Doesn't matter if
Sony
they're
didn't quite throw
pranking
them
you
under
or
the
not
bus.
in that scenario.
It was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony President Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky. The press took the ball with that one and ran. But despite all of this, all of
they
the
just had
negative press, they
not
were actually
overpromised
nominated
quite
for
as much. Should have been fine.
Yeah, you think that was the crux of the issue, was just over-promising?
Well, it is part of the problem here because they were saying they have so many features, it's so expansive, and then they really couldn't deliver. Like, if you don't think they could deliver on them in the way people were thinking anyway, they still really overpromised. They should have been a little bit more humble about what they were going to launch with, in my opinion. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep it rolling, but interesting to see where your thought is at this problem, this massive problem. Well, no, one thing you mentioned earlier is that this is $60. This game, it wasn't like a indie game at a cheaper price or something. It was a full $60.
True.
By this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
They didn't go to the award show.
And the Innovation Award goes to No Man's Sky.
They still went for all that and got an award and then they didn't go.
Yeah,
they probably should have, but maybe they felt weird.
Well, I mean, after everything that had happened, they thought they probably wouldn't win, right? And I think the reason that they did win is that the way they did code the procedural generation was actually quite clever.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed.
This lovely trophy going once.
Whoops.
Apparently won an award. Whoops. We were eating dinner, talking about how we definitely wouldn't win an award.
We should have kind of clued them in that they were gonna win.
Man,
I don't know.
That's so sad. I mean, I guess they're not supposed to know until it happens, though.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I've heard that sometimes if if you're at least in the top 3, or times if they really argue with sometimes you do get like a little nod, because some people won't go as often if depending on what's going on.
But that's still rough. I mean, they were just so beaten down, you know, they couldn't help it.
Yeah, that's what I meant, because like they probably genuinely didn't think they were gonna get it. So
Accept this on the behalf
sad.
of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And now I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry for it. And then what followed that was the final straw for many.
Please, that's enough.
No particular incident, but a lack of incidents. Yes. Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky. Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over, and it was dead.
Same story, another side. Rewind time.
The year is 2000 AD.
Ooh, we go way
Sean
back.
has just
2000.
graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks at a number of studios, eventually working as a technical lead for Black.
Black was good.
And technical director
and
for
Burnout
3.
Oh yeah, it was a fun game.
When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio, Hello Games. This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger. They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place, because who would be working at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night? But they had to work that hard. Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
Damn.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I would recommend anyone else do.
But by June 8th,
he says he doesn't recommend it.
They had done it. The game was good. And they could
9.5.
breathe a sigh of relief
The game
because
was
on the very
good.
first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back.
Oh, they
2
sold
years later,
50,000
Joe
units in a
Danger 2
week.
was released.
Good
it
for
was
them.
not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into. In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Concurrent to all this development,
Oh,
he
the
would go
Sean
on to have
faces.
3 kids. So the
Oh,
weight of
damn.
responsibility is
3
really
kids?
piling on. But their hard work will pay off, as they're
Yeah.
finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very
Fuck.
much ruined.
Bad news. Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England, right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around at waist height.
Fuck.
But some good news. They hadn't lost any
Aw.
data.
They didn't lose
pulled together.
data.
Soldier
but
on.
They probably Sony kindly offered them resources to help them recover from the floods and scale up production, but the offer was declined. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder what there might have been some stipulations that Sony would want to have wanted. There is a possibility of that. Like maybe even a stake in the company. I don't know. Like in Hello Games itself.
Because otherwise I don't know why you would decline.
Well, it could be. It wouldn't be their equipment. It might be owned by Sony, which could create red tape later, kind of thing. Who knows? It could be complicated. But man, wouldn't that fucking suck? Even though they didn't lose data, which is great, they still have to reset everything up and get everything working again.
Development?
So, like, if they didn't permanently use the Sony tech, it might be good just to get going. But yeah, like you said, there could have been a reason. Oh, something at the bottom there.
Yeah, no, I know. Unfortunately, this won't go away. But Sean also mentions in an interview that it was a blessing in disguise, as the team at the time was kind of splitting in two. When the flood happened, they all pulled together and fixed some of the office stuff. And then Internet Historian says, I don't have time to get into it in this video. It's probably not interesting for most people. Was it worth pausing the video just to read this? Yes. Yes, it was, IH. How dare you? Yes.
We want to know the deets.
Yeah, the deets are important. The deets are where the real lessons come in.
True.
So there they are, working in a damp office, and then ding dong.
A damp office.
Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis.
What?
He's seen the game, and he says, they are using my super formula in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. So back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
God.
You are infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text.
They own the word Sky.
They had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's One
it's so
under threat of
weird.
lawsuit.
No Man's One.
But this lawsuit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years.
3 years of
right
threat.
up until the month before release. So they get back to work, and ding dong. It's Sony with some good news for once. We like your game, kid. We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray. Sean's in his early 30s now. Not super young, but relatively young,
bullshit.
and inexperienced for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure on them. It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault, but they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around, and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for.
Oh, he said that he just wanted to acknowledge he's just speculating, but yeah, I would assume he's right, to be honest. It's probably too much to ask for when you're in a big deal with like Sony or something. I bet you probably have like a couple of months of wiggle room, and that's it.
I feel like everyone involved here should have given themselves, like they should have probably given themselves more times, and knowing that they're working with like a small development company, Sony probably should have been like, we have a tentative date, but maybe not even set it yet.
Right.
So they didn't have an issue.
So they extended
maybe not done pre-orders yet.
Or something. Or yeah, there's a few factors.
Yeah.
We'll get into it for sure.
To August. Only 6 weeks.
Only
From here,
6 week delay.
You can predict what's
That's
going to happen
really
with
short.
multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features. So here's how the hype happened. Scope of game, time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is
practically
steady
achieved.
and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple, but the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016. That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation, and it costs $60, and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem.
I agree with
because
this.
Price tags set expectations. For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing. Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no problem. But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature. Now, some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place.
All the things together, unfortunately, really, I would say.
Well, and I would say, like, most people probably didn't see the interviews. Like, they never saw them. It's the pricing.
Or only some of them.
Putting them at $60 is gonna just set expectations automatically, right?
But the Sony like polish and price tag, plus even just one of those interviews, and then hype from the community around it could have just pushed people's expectations too far.
I think he'll get into it, but one thing is, like, remember, they don't have like a proper PR team. They're not trained into PR or how to talk to people in this way, especially about news.
And this is probably like an exciting thing they really hope to accomplish, and like he's really riding on it, working because it's his job. So he's like, yeah, all the things we're trying, but
well, and that's the thing. He might not even mean some of the features as a promise. He might mean them as like, this is something we're trying out to see if we can get it to work. But people will take it as a promise. And that's really the crux of the issue. And again, I think the price tag was the main point. Because again, if it came out for $20 or even $30, I don't think anyone would have had as much of an issue with it.
I think modernly it would come out for that, and or like they said, it would be like, this is an ongoing development game like they do on Steam nowadays. Because people learn.
There was some early access, I think, at that time on Steam, but it was still very new. Like, it wasn't as common of a thing in that time. Although they would have benefited from it. But yeah, we'll keep it rolling. But yeah, I do agree that I think the interviews were like a small ladder perched on already a very tall tower of expectation.
Here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No.
But still buy it,
just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle finger to them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So, it's kind of stuck up there.
Just Sony's staring at him like,
tries to temper expectations.
You can't come down until I say.
Can you build a space station?
No.
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And
yeah, introverts unite.
Not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that. On stage with the crowd.
Going on stage at E3, like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
literally the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game from 2013
He was on Colbert.
to 2016.
I mean, fuck.
And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar,
Colbert's
a Peter Molyneux, or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost.
Wait. Hold on.
2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux, or a chess club member.
I know it's not all Todd's fault. It's mostly all ZenMax is doing. I'm just illustrating a point. I can't. I needed to see that.
Whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP. Their project and plans are constantly in flux.
Yeah.
They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the line compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done. This is how journalism is done.
Can you customize the look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky.
Oh no!
Periodic table.
Oh fuck, no, no! No! They're not your friends, Sean. They're not your friends.
Diffracting particles or wavelengths. Anyway.
Yeah, like apparently there are different elements of the game, blah, 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 but they never said atmosphere had diffracting particles or wavelengths, whatever they're saying here. They're like, the team has programmed some physics for aesthetic reasons. For instance, Duncan insisted on permitting moons to orbit closer to planets than Newtonian physics would allow. He desired the possibility of green skies. The team had to redesign the periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength. What? They never said that, and yet published away. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god.
Able to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength.
Told you.
The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope
Sean Murray is Jesus.
and keeps increasing as the months go by.
No,
until
it does not.
They are close to the deadline and have to delay. And the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face.
And whether you blame them or not, I mean, if you're just one of the dev team members, right, and you're staring at that like final 4-6 weeks that you have, and you know what the product is, oh my heart, I'd be so afraid of disappointing.
It's gotta
people.
be really rough.
Yeah, it's gotta be harrowing. Because you want people to enjoy your game. Like, I do feel like, like from this perspective, you see that they're real game developers. They like games, and so this is just a really hard place to be in.
They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game. They're worried. There's nothing more they can do. And the fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
I feel the pressure. I'm not even making the damn game.
I worry about, like, disappointing people.
Upon release, all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar. And what doesn't help is his body language. I mean, it's kind of the body language of someone who is lying. And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert. Remember, he's a technical lead. Actually, a really good one. But not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack, because this is simply how he talks. Here are some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
Lead producers on No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the creator or something like that. No, I really like making games. I don't necessarily love talking about making
I think you did a good job,
even though you guys are very nice.
Mate, seriously.
Same body language. And Jesus Christ, they have him up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report.
Right.
Try keeping your nerve on that. Nonetheless, free of that context,
I have issues with
the
that
clips have
too.
been cemented in the community as a liar. So the graph plays out right to release. And that graph, it's actually a track. And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill.
Oh,
Instead
no.
of really pulling into the station, it comes crashing right through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on. So there were Sean and Hello Games. surrounded by the rubble of their former reputation.
Jesus.
Punished Sean was at his lowest point.
Punished Sean.
Hated by the majority of the gaming community. But they were still alive, and they had made tens of millions of dollars. They were left with two choices. Take the money, start a new project, and be a pariah, a cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
It allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times, whether it was crappy bosses that I've dealt with before or crappy situations at school growing up. I got my head down, I sat in front of a computer, and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2. So, here's the plan. The team is assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game, and he reroutes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly to him now. Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours, people who have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data, focusing on the people with the most sincere experience of the game. Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding and prioritizing. First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc., etc. This is going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they would need to sharply adjust their PR strategy.
Something else.
Anything
Fuck
they
the
said
press.
right now, an admission of guilt,
I made a severe,
would be met with criticism. Denial, it's not that bad, would be met with criticism. Corporate speak, well, we endeavored to make the best game we could, and we are proud of what we have, would be met with criticism. Half of the problems have been caused by speaking too much. So they were going to do a complete 180. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered,
alien anime girls are coming
again.
Female traits you're talking about, I'd say that's a generalization, but you
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on. So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent.
Smart, I think.
One
actually.
day passed. No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. Nope, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them. Just work. 3 weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
A month. They took the fucking money and ran, didn't they? Don't say anything, it's not going to help. 2 months. 3 months.
Be fucking rain.
By now,
goddamn,
most people were
game.
convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over. Then, after over 100 days of absolute silence, a tweet. Foundation. The first big patch. It is me, Sean. No, go away, Sean. I am mad at you. It has been too long. But I bring you gifts. This accent sucks. It brought base building, new game modes, farming, camps, and freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes. You will have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back. It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work. A few more months went by, and then another tweet. Pathfinder.
What do we have here?
Yeah, Sean.
Oh, not the brick.
What? Oh, it's you, Sean. I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships, starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles you can drive around in, and create racetracks for them too with time trials. Look at this. Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm still mad, and there's still a ton promised that isn't in the game yet. So Sean went away once more. A few more months went by. Knock, knock. Oh, it's you, Sean. What is it now? I bring you an overhaul to the storyline. New worlds, crashed freighters, space combat, terrain editing, portals, procedural mission system, interstellar trading, and joint exploration. By now, people were really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this was an honest effort to fix the game, and the number of employees working on it was growing, from a studio of 15 to 25. Sean Murray and Hello Games social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game secondhand on Amazon, eBay, and GameStop was going up.
That's
Then
not
a
something
few
you
more
see
months went
often.
by. Next, a really big patch.
Oh my god. Holy shit! I just got goosebumps.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's the full and proper multiplayer experience. Ringed planets, third-person mode, character customization, a galactic atlas on an external website for the community, vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources, and it also brought the game to Xbox. In fact, with the release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month.
That's probably when I played it.
It climbed its way back into
Probably.
Steam's top 10. It reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players. It brought another
Wow.
$24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating
That was
went
back in
from mixed
2018.
to very positive. People were getting back on board in a big way, but they weren't done yet. Better creatures, weird
Ooh, I
underwater
didn't play the Abyss.
discoveries in bases and environments and equipment, and it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch. Which was when he released his biggest patch to date of this video.
Oh my god, dude!
Free VR support. Not a whole other game you have to pay for, like some titles.
Like Skyrim VR being another $90 or some shit. Are you kidding me? But I also wanted to mention here
Yeah,
too is
crazy.
all these updates, they haven't charged a dime for any of them. They've
Yeah.
all just rolled out for free. Not like an expansion or anything.
Overhauls to NPCs, tech trees.
A good chunk of them probably. Sorry, it's a good chunk of them probably should be free. Eventually, maybe they should charge a little bit for DLC, but some of this is probably good that they just, patched the community.
Well,
out.
this is at this point, this is years of work. Like this is like 3-4 years at this point. Like I mean, if you look at another studio, some of these patches definitely would have been like, oh, $30 for the next patch. Like
Base building,
the
streamlined
next
multiplayer,
expansion.
ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible.
And they're
it's your
still
actions."
adding stuff to it.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out
Like
another
this
patch
day.
the other day. With ship salvaging, ship upgrading, more advanced terrain editing, first-person exocrafts, improved VR, improved base building and inventory management, and quality of life stuff. It goes on. Is it perfect? Technically, there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're
Back
starting
when he
to
made
nitpick.
this video.
Especially when you compare them to relationships with other games companies.
Yeah.
They could have gone the route of Fallout 76. Paywall mods with Fallout First, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral more and more into pay-to-win scraps released without QA testing. But instead, they never added pay-to-win. They never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources
not
back to do it.
Oh, does anyone else know Anthem? Oh, Anthem hurts my soul. I wanted that game to be good so bad. And they had great movement. They just abandoned the game's content. I don't know why. They just needed to fix the content. It was like a looter shooter, except it was like Destiny, but you had a fucking like legit Iron Man flying suit and different different suits you could have that did different things. Some were like bulky, some were fast, etc., etc. The flight felt great. It was like one of the best Iron Man-like kind of things I've ever played.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and then they fucked it.
For that.
They
like
fucked it. Yeah, they. But again, EA. It was EA and BioWare, and they just fucked it. I could talk about it too long. We're gonna move on. But anyone else who knows Anthem, just say "rip Anthem" in the comments, because fuck.
They didn't come out and call all gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel. They didn't do much of anything except get back to work. And just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky next.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky's next.
No Man's Sky.
And to cap it all
Good
off,
for them.
the subreddit No Man's Sky the Game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to have a billboard installed near the Hello Games offices.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team. They took a huge risk to start a small studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation, disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history for it.
As a family, post-release, we faced some really difficult challenges. Everything that you can imagine, from like the worst of the internet, we hit.
But then over the course of the next 3 years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story. And after doing all of this research, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys.
Gay!
So what is the future for Hello Games?
But I don't know. I agree. I think it's a rare story that a game studio, not only did they choose to fix it, but had the opportunity to, because of the success, even though it was like a flop in a sense. They had enough success to actually pursue it without charging people too for more, and just correct it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a good story. I mean, Sean and his team, like, you earned it, guys. You really did, I think. I'm sure there's some people out there who are still mad, but I think they're nitpicking, if you ask me.
Yeah.
2017, they announced Hello Labs, a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation.
They're like helping other devs.
Two of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire.
That's cute.
But for the foreseeable future,
to play it.
they're just working on No Man's Sky.
They actually do have a... they'll fucking announce a new game the moment this video goes live. I just know it. Well, he didn't have to worry about it, but they have announced a new game. It's called Light No Fire. And it's what it's going to be is it's a procedural generated massive, like a real scale planet. And it's supposed to be fantasy. And it looks fun as hell. So I'm pretty excited for that, because they've learned tons of lessons since they did No Man's Sky. So I'm betting you Light No Fire is going to be a great experience.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Alright, I didn't want to finish the video on like a big sappy note.
Why not?
This
It's
is
a
the
good
end of
note.
the story, but there's still another few minutes.
I can't not let you
It's not an
react
ad.
to this.
Okay, in 2015,
goddamn
when the hype was at its peak, someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fan fiction. And naturally, I assumed that you lot would want to see it. So here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games.
My.
I arrived at the Hello Games office in the early evening as the sun was approaching the horizon. Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell. The door opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British-Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us." "I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I said. "Oh yeah, the interview. I forgot," he replied with his usual brilliant humor. I laughed. "You're so funny, Sean. Let me show you my office." "I have a surprise for you," Sean said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise," he said, softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard. It's sexy, I pretended to say to him in my head to myself. I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. So here's the game, he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world just calling out to be explored. I began to sweat. Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke. Could I try playing? I said. Oh, I suppose, of course, he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the controls. Sean, I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes.
I wasn't sure
I
it was going to be like a
stared deep
tease
into
thing.
his beautiful, glistening eyes,
yeah.
utterly transfixed. Sure, he said.
That's what you
He let
thought.
go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip.
Aww.
But I have another surprise to show you.
Okay.
He stood up. My...
Redacted.
He muttered. Yes, please, I said, blushing as red as the treetops of Aurea 5.
Oh my
He grabbed
god.
my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release. The one true Sean Murray, not that baby-faced loser asshole poser from NCIS. Made sweet, sweet love to me. I wasn't sure what I was more excited about. Finally,
Redacted.
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky.
Sean.
After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space.
Redacted.
Units
It was an out-of-world experience.
Oh no! The story then got overly graphic and a bit boring. So we jumped ahead a bit. Oh, there's more.
Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit. Like what you see, he said. It's time, everybody, he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets, I realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was about to be
redacted
by a group of Sean Murrays. But they all had one difference. The big...
redacted.
Each piece
Redacted.
was different. There were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical. As the Hello Games team began to...
Redacted.
From somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, every...
Redacted.
Procedural.
Oh, shit.
Also, I did a thing on the second channel. Please do check it out. I thought it was quite good. I love the videos of the second.
Redoing the Game of Thrones finale? We need to watch that. Oh,
I just
fuck.
found that story, needed a few minutes, and desperately needed to share. I think it is a story with this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think that editing took a bit more than a few fucking minutes.
I was thinking, like, I have to share this.
It's so fucking funny. It is the most ridiculous thing. Oh god. Well, that is why the video we just watched is called The Engoodening of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
It definitely had quite the story. What a turnaround, though. And again, they're still making content. If you guys are interested, go look at it now. There's something that they recently put out, like called World or Worlds 2 update or something. Like, I don't know. The game is crazy now. There is so much in No Man's Sky. Like, I would have to start fresh and like just relearn it all, because like it is massive now. But good for them. I'm glad that it all worked out. I'm glad that they're helping other developers with procedural generation, because I feel like that is a really good way, especially for smaller studios, to create larger content like pools. Also, I'm excited for their new one, Light No Fire. I think that's going to be a very interesting game to keep an eye on. And it looked really fun from what I saw. So yeah, maybe I'll have Uno react to the trailer, and that'll be like a real short video one day, guys. Maybe. But yeah, I that's all I got. I won't lie, guys. It makes my bones a little emotional when I hear such a good story about a turnaround. You know, the underdogs coming back, because they had to work to earn that, right? They had to do.
He seemed like
a
a really
lot
nice
of fucking
boss.
effort. Yeah, I think Sean always meant well. It's just he's not trained in PR. He made too many mistakes, and I think he acknowledged them. And then again, the journalists did not help. Like, let's be honest, they were not going to help. Unfortunately, it's just gonna get worse. I actually watched the Colbert interview when it went up on like YouTube or something. I was like, yeah, look at this awesome game. Look at it. I was so sad when the game came out and it was getting panned. I was like, oh, no.
Well, now Sean is in the fevered imaginations.
No,
so many.
He redeemed himself, so it's even better now. He was dirty, and now he's the king.
Oh, you introverted beard nerds.
Oh my god, introverted what?
Beard nerds.
Introverted beard nerds. How dare?
Wait, he's a shining beard.
Oh my god. I just
Think
love
of
the
that
idea.
last part now.
Well, I love the idea of it, like the fucking VR with everyone just with his face in it. Like, what the
Be real, that is pretty much what future VR is going to be used.
We're not going there. We're not going there. We're ending this video on a happy note, not a crazy note. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Good job, Sean.
If you guys are playing, have you played No Man's Sky like recently or within a while? Let us know how you guys think it is. Let us know if you're interested in Light No Fire. I think it'll be really cool. And yeah, we'll see you in the next Moans and Bones Reacts. Anything else, Udo?
Yeah, just type down below if you really love this game or the upcoming game.
Wait, type what? So they hear it.
Oh, I should type your thoughts.
Oh, your thoughts. Okay. Game. I thought you said something specific. Like, type this word and then tell us your thoughts. All right, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.